everybody, what an exciting week it has been. Teen Wolf is back, finally, and it is season 5. Season 5. I can't even hardly believe we are already into season 5. MTV was nice enough to give us a 2-part season premiere on Monday and Tuesday night. Episode 1 was Monday, episode 2 was Tuesday. So I don't even know how to deal with what we've been given so far. This season's going to be insane. Let's talk about episode 1, Creatures of the Night, because things are going downhill again in Beacon Hills. So episode 1 starts out, it's very dark, and we zoom in and see the Eichen House sign. Go inside. Lydia's there. She's all doped up. We see her in the shower, and then we see her getting needles stuck in her neck and all that junk, and we're like, okay, how did she get there? Why is she there? She's like catatonic for a good solid minute or two, and then all of a sudden she just jolts awake and banshee screams. And let's talk about, oh wow, she's got some Black Widow moves. Apparently she's been training and she can fight now, and her moves are good. They're really good. And also her banshee scream is visible. It's almost like a force. She can scream and like push it out, and it's visible like sound waves. I don't know if some of y'all have seen my cosplay photo shoot for Lydia. I actually had where I did the sound waves coming out. So I thought that was so cool when I saw it done in the show with Lydia. Because I mean, banshees, there's a lot of times banshee screams, they make them visible. And I'm really excited to see them expand on Lydia's ability. But basically, she's in Eichen House, and they're trying to keep her there for some reason or other. And we think she's going to escape. She gets outside, and up walks Aiden. Okay, Aiden's dead, first of all. Second of all, I just don't even understand. Right at this point, I do not understand what is going on, and I just want Scott and the pack to show up and get her out. But no, she gets zapped and taken back, and I'm just like, why? What? And then we go to seeing the full moon and Scott and Styles and Liam deal with stuff, and they're just like big chilling, and I'm like, wait, Lydia's in Eichen House, go get her. I don't know what is going on, why they aren't saving her, but I'm right at this point, I'm pissed. So apparently Styles is just really stressed about keeping the pack together after senior year. So they're just kind of trying to make plans on colleges and different stuff and living situations and all stuff so they can keep all connected. And the whole time, Liam is back behind them, chained to a tree, handcuffed and chained, and because it's the full moon. And Styles like, think it's been long enough, and they go back there, and basically, apparently, Liam, on one full moon, went for a naked werewolfy run, lost control, and he said it was hot out. I don't know. I really would love to see like a little flashback of that scene and how that went down, because that would be hilarious. And I just love the Scott, Liam, and Styles scenes. They're adorable. It makes up almost completely, but it will never make up for the absence of Derek. So what's going on? There is some freaky lightning storm stuff going down. Kira is stuck trying to get into town from being in New York over the summer because of the storm, and there's a traffic jam and all this stuff. It's a freaky lightning storm too. I don't know what is up with that. It's like, it's raining and stuff, but the lightning is kind of going wonky. Like, Styles' Jeep breaks down, and they're trying to get it started, and just like 3 different zaps of lightning like come real close by them, and they're like, wait, what? And I think it's really funny. Styles is like, he considers his Jeep like part of the pack, because he was like, no one gets left behind. He's like got duct tape, and he's like taping up the electrical stuff inside of the Jeep. Like, I guess he just can't afford to be getting it fixed up again. Remember that bill he had in season 2 when his Jeep broke down? You know, Remember when the Canema, when he killed the guy fixing his... Maybe he didn't finish fixing his Jeep. I don't know. Anyways, so we see Kira. She goes, jumps in the car, starts trying to get a signal, and the signals are out because of the storm and all too. So, and then we see some guy in a car looking at her, and, well, he gets out of the car, and they're both trying to get signals, and he's like, I don't have a signal either. And I'm looking at him like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you and your pretty face. I just don't trust this guy. And we see a whole scene with Scott, Styles, and Malia, and Liam in the hospital. Scott drops Liam off, and basically Liam, he uses music for control, to try and control his werewolfiness on the full moons, but it's not really working. He like digs his claws into his hands and shows Scott, and Scott just like kind of, he like, Daddy Scott, he kind of just tells him it's going to be alright, you're going to struggle at first, but it's going to make you stronger, and you're going to be a badass. Basically what he said. Papa Scott proud. Anyways, so then we see a whole scene where Scott's trying to figure out how to get Kira to something they're all trying to get to for the senior stuff, and tells Styles about how he told Kira not to worry and to have fun in New York. And Styles like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that, because she might think don't worry, go have fun could mean with other guys. And Scott's like, what, no? And then Malia agrees, and I'm just like, no, Kira's not that type of chick. Malia might be, Lydia might be, but not Kira. Kira's just not the type. Scott doesn't have anything to worry about. But basically, Scott goes on his motorcycle and rescues Kira, gets her out of that traffic jam. And we see that other dude still looking and being a creeper. Seriously, dude, stop. I don't like you. Then we see Parrish. We see some of the stuff going on with Parrish is really interesting. I need to know what he is. What the hell is he? Because it's driving me insane. We see him go to check out a disturbance in like abandoned house. Basically, Sheriff Stilinski has been keeping him on desk duty ever since they found out he was a supernatural, and I guess when they found out other stuff about him, but they still don't know what he is. So he goes to this place, finds this black oozing stuff behind a wall, tries to break the wall, then breaks open this, I don't even know what he is, because he's like a mixed up mess of different species, species, because he looks like, his face looks werewolf, but his claws, he's got the talons of a harpy eagle. He can absorb other supernatural's abilities, and I just don't know. He tries to absorb Parrish's, but he like stops, and then he says that's where Scott is. He wants to know where Scott is, so he goes to find Scott. He even goes to Scott's house, where Scott's mom was there at the time, but luckily she wasn't hurt. Now, what's really weird is Scott stopped by the house for a minute, and everything magnetized was demagnetized, apparently when this guy was there or something. So something, or I don't know if it was when the guy was there or what, but it was weird. For a minute, the magnets were off the fridge and stuff, and then they just went back on, and Scott's like, okay, that's weird. He didn't even really question it. I was like, Scott, come on, that's not normal. Come on. So Parrish, he calls for backup to come help him because he's hurt from the dude with the eagle talons. And when he's brought into, he hallucinates Lydia too in that whole little scene. Like, he hallucinates her about to kiss him and stuff too. And then Sheriff Stilinski shows up to get him. But when they bring him into the hospital, I don't know if everybody caught it, but his wounds were steaming. That's like one of a very big clue on his supernatural abilities and what he is to me. I still think he's like some kind of phoenix. Like, I was kind of evenly divided between were dragon or were phoenix or something like that. But now, like, the steam, like, phoenixes rise from the ashes. They like catch fire and rise from the ashes. So I really, because it was like they steamed and then he healed. So that was like, okay, if he's not a phoenix, I will be shocked. So basically, Melissa and Sheriff Stilinski are like, was he on fire? So I'm wondering if he caught fire like in the amount of time over the summer of the season when we had our break. They had their break that we didn't see when Lydia was helping him try to figure things out. I'm wondering if he got wounded and like caught fire and then healed at some point, because that's kind of what the way they were leading me to believe what happened. But he jumps up and his eyes are all orange glowing, and he's like, call Scott, warn Scott, because this dude's after him. This big ass dude. Like, this dude is tall. He's a huge dude. And he's got glowy blue harpy eagle talons. Like, I don't even understand. But basically, there's a whole showdown. The guy with the talons shows up and he tries to absorb Scott's abilities, his true alpha status and all that. But it like starts to work, then it stops. And Scott's like, you could either, I could either break something else or you can run. And Styles like, I'd run. And then, of course, during all this that went down, Creeper Dude shows up and helps out. And he's apparently a werewolf. And apparently, supposedly, he claims to be this guy, Theo, from like the 4th grade. He moved away and stuff, and he used to be friends with Scott and Styles, and he's like, yeah, I heard there was a true alpha, and when it was Scott, I knew I had to move back, and I want to be part of your pack. And Styles just like, dude, I don't trust you. And I'm like, Styles, I'm right with you, because I do not trust this dude. Like, seriously. He's just too pretty and too smooth and just, no. I don't know. No, I don't agree. And apparently, Liam cannot keep his mouth shut. Something else that happens, it's adorable though. It's so adorable. Liam and Scott and Styles, when they go to pick up Malia during this episode, during the traffic jam and all this stuff, and Liam slips that he knew that Malia might not get into being a senior because she had to take summer school courses, because of course she spent like 8 years or such as a coyote. So of course she's like gonna struggle in school to even be a senior. I don't even know how she got to be a senior, but I'm just like mad props on her, because I don't even know. She must be pretty smart to be able to catch up, but she passed her test and she's gonna be a senior. This whole episode, it was about them getting to the high school. They were the whole episode they were trying to get to the high school for something called Senior Scribe. What's really like blew my mind in this episode was when they got to the high school and walked in. Just la-di-da, Lydia walks up. She's like, where were you guys? And I'm like, wait. How'd you get out of Eichen House? How? I don't understand these things. What is happening? Well, they're just big chilling. They go to the library and start putting their initials on a bookshelf. I guess I don't know if it's where their yearbooks go or whatever, but all seniors every year go and put their initials. So of course we don't get to see Styles' initials, because we still don't even know his first name or his initials, real initials or anything, because they're not going to tell us that until the show ends. I'm okay with waiting as long as we get more seasons. I just want plenty more seasons of Teen Wolf. But we see Styles look at DH, Derek Hale's initials, and I'm just like, I miss Derek. I miss Tyler Hoechlin on Teen Wolf. And then we see Lydia and Malia and Kira sign. What's really interesting is when Malia signs, she puts the M and then she starts out trying to figure out what last name to put, but she puts T, because really it's nothing to brag about being a Hale. I mean, it related to Derek. Derek's cool. But Peter's her dad? Yeah, she puts T because she considers herself Malia Tate. And when Scott signs, I just like, that was a really great scene. He signs his initials, and then under it, he like pauses for a second, and then he puts AA, Allison Argent. And then he was just like, she was supposed to be with us, and Lydia was like, she still is. And think about like also like, I wonder if Lydia has, because of her Banshee powers, is on some like communication wavelength with Allison. Like she can feel that Allison is there, because that's what I was thinking when Lydia said that as well. It was just really nice, and it was a really nice moment. But after that whole deal and they're done signing, we flash over to Eichen House again. Oh, goodness. I can't even. Actually, I can, but hold on that. Something else that was really weird, and it's insane. Our new villains this season. Because dude with the claws, the talons, shows back up someplace. Looks like a mad scientist lab or whatever. And there's these creepy steampunk doctor looking dudes with goggles and gears and all. They look like these steampunk doctor mad scientist weird dudes. But apparently they're called the Dread Doctors this season. And he's like, give me another chance. And they're like, we don't give second chance. They're pretty much like, we don't give second chances, dude. And they just like run him through. They just kill him. And I was just like, okay, that's not cool. Like, I didn't like the Talon dude, but these other guys, I'm really scared about them. Now, the Eichen House drama. I don't even know how to deal with that mess. Eichen House, Lydia, they show Lydia back there. So this is where things are like, okay, this is like a flash forward season. Lydia, how we were shown Lydia and Eichen House at the beginning of the episode shows us that Lydia, everything that's happened in season 5 or 5A, I don't know how they're doing the timeline. Everything that has happened is in the past to her. So it's all like it's like thinking back on it. And she's in Eichen House and we see Aiden again. And they're like, no, I'm still like, no, Aiden's not alive. Well, guess what? He's not. She's like hallucinating. And then he turns into Dr. Valak. You know, the creepy dude with the eye in his skull. But you know what? What's really weird? The eye's not there. The drilled hole in his forehead is not there. And I'm like, okay, what is happening? And then I have this crazy theory, but I don't know. You know how they were saying last season how some people just like, they never come out of it. They like, remember how Dr. Deaton went there and Lydia had to go and get him out of this like trance state? I'm wondering if Lydia came into contact with Dr. Valak and got put in some kind of trance state, and she's imagining, because she's hallucinating Aiden and all this stuff. I know she's got drugs in her system and stuff, but for the doctor to not have that hole in his skull and the eye, that was like a big like warning sign to me. I was just like, I just don't know. I don't know if he broke out and somehow healed. That's the only thing I could imagine otherwise. But anyways, I'm wondering, is Lydia in a hallucination in the future? Or is it the actually happening in the future? That's what I want to know, because it's driving me nuts. You know what else is still driving me nuts? What is Parrish? Okay, so episode 1 was great, but episode 2 was freaky. So stay tuned. I hope y'all continue to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will post my recap and review for episode 2 very soon. Bye, guys.